because they've got an idea behind it, right? Like, they've got Thompson on this hero that he's been spamming a lot of. I think he has like a 90% win rate with this mid Darkseer, and they've got some ideas around it, but they do have some issues with their draft, whereas Monaspa have much more straightforward draft. They can take Roche, they can take towers, they can scale well, so that's why, you know, 60-40, I think is a good way to put it.
I don't want to scare you into how many points you're about to be losing people, but there's already 1.6 million points on Old G, while ex-Monaspa have 220,000.
Looks like it's time for me to go farm some channel points.
Yeah,
huh?
the returns are good. Old G, though, finding Skylark, Blood Grenade. I'm a big fan. Double Blood Grenade, and now the jump over from no one, but the arrow hits on the Batrider. Oh, Flame Break action, Nether Blast coming through, Skylark turning, Fortune's End onto the Batrider on the back lines. They've got Pio there, but First Blood for Topsing. Kid Track's gonna get traded at the end of the day, and they still want to fight. Where is this fight happening? In between the tier 1 and tier 2? Like, what is this? This is some SEA region stuff going on right now as Seb starts to retreat. But another Fortune's End means Pio might be able to jump on him, especially with the arrow. The Nether Blast's not going to help, and Seb has to fight back. He's got that 3-man overwhelming odds, but he's still going to die here. They might even get themselves tops, and the axes come back, and they do get tops in. Pio comes back in. Skylark falls to Aramis. Aramis is going to die here, but the question is who, and it will be Spartan. So 6 kills pre-Horn.
That was something. That was definitely something. I was gonna call out C Spartan a little bit there, misusing his blood grenade, wasting it at the end. But I mean, the fact that he went 1-0-2 definitely feels pretty good for the Oracle. That's great for Monaspa, right? But you can see that OG understand they want to try and get a lot of these lanes going their way early on, because they need to snowball with this draft, right? Like, they need to get dual damage early on. They need to get a lot of levels onto Kid Track, then you get a lot of levels onto Aramis. Like, there's a lot of heroes that need a lot of experience, and that fight was a good fight for them to take, but unfortunately it just didn't work out. And I mean, I love it. I love to see it. This is why I love watching Old G. It's just kills everywhere.
Oh, geez, no one going down here, and I gotta assume that was a full duration arrow coming through and hitting onto this Marcy already. I was looking over bottom where it feels like this is going to be an aggressive lane in itself anyway, and I feel like that's just the Old G style, just keep playing aggressive, even though they died 4 times bottom.
Yeah, I think they need to make sure that they don't stop on the aggression train, right? Like, even if you lose a couple of fights, like, you're not going to, with this kind of draft, you're not going to sit back and out-farm the side of Monaspa. Like, if these lanes go they don't have forward for Monaspa, they feel good.
Desire is just dead, and he'll fall to no one who just came back into the lane. Somehow, with all these kills, he's still just sitting level 1, though.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
There's the level 2.
I'm not sure how he ends up being level 1, especially because they got the kill onto no one in the top lane. I thought maybe no, Aramis didn't die. Desire didn't die in the opening engagement either. So I thought maybe he was one of the ones that died early on and just didn't get any of the experience from the opening kills. But yeah, being level 1's a little rough there for Desire.
Even over mid for the moment. Wish and Topson. This is that 1-2 build and has that bottle, so he'll fill it up with a water rune or get 2/3 of it full. And Blood Grenade, Kid Track, he's dead. So another kill here for the side of Monaspa. 9 kills in 2 minutes. If we can keep this pace up, we might have the most kills ever in a Dota game, or at least average.
That's... I mean, I think the record for most kills in a Dota game is a lot. I mean, you got to remember there was that, what was it, like 4.5 hour game? The OD Pixel special?
Yeah,
there was a lot of kills in that.
You know, we could get there. At this pace, that was a lot of no killing, you know?
Very true. There probably was like an hour where there was not a single team fight that happened, so I don't understand that. But I like that Monaspa are doing a really good job at countering the aggression with aggression of their own. Like, they've got a pretty good kill lane with the Beastmaster and the Mirana, and they're doing what they should be doing against this position 5 Batrider, right? Like, you don't want to get spammed out. You don't want to lose this lane to a Batrider that wants to scale and wants to, you know, get a lot out of the lane. And if they're killing him as well as no one, this just sets up Monaspa into a good spot where Skylark, you can see already, he's got to bring health.
Seb?
He's about like...
Might die here. Purifying Flames, though. He gets some distance. He'll start to heal up. Aramis with another blast, and I don't think he feels too comfortable going after that Pugna.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of value out of these sticks, out of these wands early on, understanding there's a big spam lane between both these two teams, and if they can just fight for that small little bit, and just get that, you know, maybe they get like a moment of courage proc for Seb. He just lives a little bit longer than what C Spartan's able to do. PO goes down, and that's when they can snowball this bottom lane a lot. But yeah, it's a bleeding edge for both these two teams, right? Playing constantly with a lot of aggression from Old G until they get a lot of their own levels and they can break down this laning phase and take over a lot of the map and play as this kind of, you know, 4 or 5 man ball. Whereas Monaspa is just doing a really good job at, you know, coming out even or at least winning a lot of these lanes. You can see the CS that, you know, PO sitting at 22 CS up against the 18 of Seb. So he's in a good spot and he can, you know, fall back for this farming battle fury, and as long as they hold their towers and they don't lose the game by, you know, 25-30 minutes, they're going to feel pretty good with how this game's going to go.
I do think that this is going to be a pretty important wisdom rune on the first 7 minutes, and I know that that's like always the case, but you look at the ults and the 6s that are here for this team, and especially when you want False Promise to be that savior for you. So we'll have to see how Spartan and how the side of Monaspa are going to be able to control it. If they could grab both, I think they kind of run away with the early part of the game, knowing they've got that confidence with False Promise.
Yeah, exactly. And especially if they're able to just rotate to any of these fights. Like if the first couple of rotations or engagements coming in from OG get completely stunted by like a False Promise rotation or maybe even like a long-range arrow from Desire as he TPs in, that can really kind of stunt everything that OG want to go for. And you can see that they've decided to slow down just a little bit. They want to try and get towards that level 5, level 6 power spike for a lot of their cores. And they don't want to over-aggress because they can smell, you know, a few of these lanes aren't going too well.
Interesting flame break, Firefly, and the axes purifying flames. Not going to be enough. That is a level 2 purifying flames, and that's usually the kill stealing level. But can't get a kill there. And this is leaving Pio by himself. As long as he doesn't die, though, I think this is fine. They can always twin gate back bottom for him. Yeah,
exactly. Like as long as he doesn't die, right? But
Desire
catching
Thompson
was low, farming the stacks.
Yeah, gets him, and they're diving. They want to go get Pio because they've got Kid Track coming over. Flame break, overwhelming odds. There's the blood grenade, and they do get a kill on Pio. Oracle comes back, but he's just sitting too low, and with the movement from the twin gate from Kid Track, they're able to get a kill. And that arrow full duration connecting there.
It's a nifty little ward. I believe that was C Spartan that planted that on his rotation towards top. So I mean, Monaspa, they're playing to their opponent today, right? Like a lot of teams when they play against OG, they would have kind of stutter stepped with the early aggression, but it seems like Monaspa are up to the challenge here.
Aramis has the Decrepify, goes to the Nether Blast, still needs to run, getting some distance from Pio. And will get enough distance where he's able to survive while they're chasing Thompson over mid. They go for the slight. They're looking with Desire, and Desire is going to leap up onto the high ground. Thompson's still on the run while now they're chasing Pio the other direction. They've got the Searing Chains. They'll get the catch out of Thompson. They'll get the cut of the Darkseer, while now bottom lane, Spartan falls. You've also got some help from Kid Track once again, and Pio's able to survive, but they're losing Thompson a second time.
Yeah, that's a little rough. To be fair, he is a Darkseer, so he can farm really fast. He's got the maxed out Iron Shell now. But this is the all-important moment, right? It's 7 minutes. Aramis. Okay, looks like he's fast enough to be able to get his own Wisdom Rune, but it's all about the Radiant Wisdom Rune now, where if they can secure that, and that just goes back to parity and goes back to even. But you know, maybe even if OG are able to steal that, then that means that Kid Track gets close to his level 6.
Yeah, that lasso we were talking about, that level 1, it's still a relatively long cooldown. When you get to the second, third level, like, it's always kind of nice. Seb, press the attack, turning around, going towards Spartan. Desire is also here. They've got some help coming out from no one who's going to unleash. They'll go after Pio. They've got the damage to get the kill here out of the earth, so they look over at Spartan. He can't save himself. He's only level 4. So 2 kills here for the side of OG, and I mean, this tower looks dead to rights, especially when you've already got a level 5 Aramis Pugna and level 3 in the Nether Blast.
Yeah, that was a sick rotation from no one. Understanding that he's hit level 6 first, he's able to go in there with the Unleash and just be able to burst down Pio. And yeah, these level 6s are going to be super important for Monaspa.
So now Thompson caught again. He's got the urn on him. They're going to leap their slight. They'll kill. That's a third time. This Ember's really starting to make his life very, very upsetting. But bottom lane, again, they've still got Aramis here.
They're going to try and kill Pio again.
Yeah, they might as well. Seb doesn't have 6. He doesn't have the duel available, and Spartan comes over, Fortune's End still on the run. Not a lot of mana left for Kid Track, but they do have Firefly. If they could get Seb 6 somehow, right at this moment, they'd love that. But it's just not going to happen. Nether Blast doesn't land, and he's also got that wand, so he's able to survive. If they just had a level 6, if they just had that duel, they would have gotten that kill. But
yeah, that's a little rough. Maybe Seb would have wanted a little bit of a solid experience in that bottom lane, but
a lot of people coming here to show up.
Oh no, Spartan.
Yeah, comes back, and well, Wish, he's here. He can get something in return. There is another ward down. The Decrepify, the Nether Blast. Aramis is pretty much dead on his screen already. He's trying to get the neutrals to kill him instead. But eventually the Slight comes in, and Wish gets his wish granted by getting that kill on Aramis, and Kid Track's going to get run down eventually by Desire if he's got one more leap, but he actually doesn't. So it's going to take a lot longer to get the kill on a Kid Track. He will TP and be successful with it.
Oh, that was close. An extra half second on that Starstorm, and potentially Desire could have gotten himself a kill there on a Kid Track and prevented this level 6, and now it's level 6 Tranquil Boots for the position 5 Batrider, right? So not only has Kid Track been extremely aggressive early on, he's probably going to be able to make rotations and get some big core kills. They've already killed Topson a lot and could be killing him again.
Yeah, they're going to look to be killing him with that full duration arrow. I don't think there's any way out of this one, and Wish has another kill. Monaspa, they have themselves the experience advantage. They just don't have Spartan at level 6. I'm surprised he hasn't just gone back and picked up the Wisdom Rune. Like, that is just still sitting there.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, right? Especially because Desire was on such a trek to try and steal the Dire one. I thought that might have, you know, kind of naturally ticked over in their mind. Like, yeah, maybe we should go get our own. There was a Div 2 China game, I believe, where there was 4 Wisdom Runes sitting at one point.
Jeez.
Which was, yeah. It was an interesting game to watch. It was a Medusa, I think, that picked up all 4 of them. And it was... I think she ended up giving, like, her POS 5, like, 3.5 levels out of it.
At that point, it's so much experience, because they move up with each new one. So it's not like they're less experienced. They ferment. They get the experience back.
All right,
there it is. There we go.
This is where Old G they're gonna start kicking off, right? They've got all their level 6s and they want to start killing.
Primal Roar, they were looking for the lasso. They still have Wish coming in. Nether Ward's down. Nether Blast dropped, but look at that damage on a Kid Track already. Like, he needs to run the life drain. Aramis, he's sitting low too. They've actually put themselves in an interesting spot, but they go to the Unleash. They've got their lasso. They have the control. They get the kill on a Wish. They'll take out Kid Track, but in return, that's not really equal exchange.
Yeah, I mean, no one is licking his lips at that one. I thought the arrow was a long-range arrow that hit onto him. Was hit onto somebody else. He was able to get the Unleash off, and then obviously with the Flaming Lasso, that was the free kill there onto Wish. That was such a spooky moment there for Old G. I think if Wish was able to clean up both No One as well as Kid Track there, they kind of run away with it. They can take this tier 1 tower down. They can really start to unlock Skylark, who now has a mechanism up and available. Looks like he's going to go for the Aura build this time around. Understanding there's going to be a lot of fighting happening, and if he has a mech early on, which he does, just means a lot of these engagements are going to start leaning the way of Monaspa, because you just get that extra bit of burst healing, right? And if Old G overextends, they can get in trouble.
Fortune's End, arrow coming in. This is the combo every time.
Yeah, he's having a rough one. He's having
6
a
deaths
real
already.
rough game.
That's insane.
Yeah.
6 deaths, and he's
like,
still 4th
fair,
for the net worth.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, right? Like, to be fair, like, it is a hero that can farm really, really well, and it being Topson, he's going to be able to naturally accelerate his own farm with the Iron Shell and the way that he plays, but he just hasn't been able to get off the mark. And if he was, you know, maybe a few levels higher, if he's like level 11, he's been able to run around with Kid Track, because this is the beauty with the Darkseer, right? It really enables your position 5 Batrider. If you just surge him and chuck an Iron Shell, and that enables you to potentially get a free kill on like a POS 4, or maybe even get that extra little bit of damage that you need to clear the PO or Wish. But right now Topson is feeling the pinch, but everybody else is still doing pretty well. You know, Seb's at a point now where he's got the Blade Mail. No one, he's going to build his own Battle Fury, and so they've got their items on the way. It's just they haven't really hit that critical mass at, you know, that 15-minute mark where they're really going to group together. They're going to get that second Wisdom Rune and really try and tick off a lot of these tier 1 towers.
No one's got enough space where he's got a Battle Fury. He's got a Battle Fury, and he's only 300 gold behind both the Beastmaster and the Ember. Like, that is really good form for him. I'm a little interested in this Skylark build, just because, you know, you do have an Oracle. you do have someone who already offers that kind of heal for the team and that protection. And you could have also had the Mirana maybe even think about going into the Guardian Greaves instead, but Skylark, I don't know, like, is there really someone here who could have killed Helm of the Overlord creep quick enough where they couldn't have taken advantage of, like, the push coming through from an Ancient Black Dragon or something like that?
I think it's much more about the aggression that was coming out from Olgi rather than him losing his minions too early on. Like, if he comes in with, like, a pipe plus a Crimson Guard at, like, sub 20 minutes, then a lot of these fights that Olgi really need to win around that critical mark of, like, 20 to 25 minutes just become a lot harder. And it just means that your heroes, like the Ursa as well as the Ember Spirit, can stay alive just a little bit longer in those fights. And Ursa's one of those heroes that just needs that little bit extra to win a lot of these 1v1 engagements.
Taking some stacks here away from no one, and he is going to find himself spotting these heroes. Doesn't get caught by the Searing Chains. There's a shield rune, the most OP rune in the game, in my opinion, on Wish. And he's also got a double damage in his bottle. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. I feel like if it's purgeable, that's fine. But I'm also glad that they made the change to power runes, how they're on like a rotation now. Because could you imagine, you know, popping a shield rune, going into a fight, having a shield rune in your bottle and popping it again?
Yeah,
like
it's kind of crazy.
That would be broken.
But it just still feel like 50% is too high of a number.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
Especially when you have heroes that, one, can't use them, i.e. Medusa, doesn't like using it, and two, heroes that abuse it, that have a lot of HP. And it just makes them
universal heroes.
Unkillable. Yeah, exactly.
Flame Break, Lasso, pulling him up onto the cliff, and
knocked him down.
That's not what he wanted to do. Remnant forward, and Sleight of Fist Searing Chains, the arrow to follow it up. They've got another kill. They need to find out, well, once Seb is there, you'd assume they should be able to deal with this disgusting combo they've got coming in.
Yeah, I'd imagine that maybe we might be seeing... Yeah, I was going to say, we might see a Yules on one of these heroes early on, especially like the Batrider, because he kind of wants to play... He doesn't want to play by himself, but he doesn't really want to have to stick around with Seb. Like, they've got these kill squads with, like, Legion Commander +1 and the Batrider +1, where they want to try and be in different parts.
That's a roar used. The wall down, the vacuum. Seb kind of gave up, though.
No reveal.
No reveal, and they've got Blink and Blade Mail. They really wanted to get something done with Seb because he has 0 dual damage 60 minutes into the game.
Yeah, it's always depressing when you're playing Legion Commander and you have those early engagements, but as soon as you get duel, nothing happens. But this might be something.
There's the duel, and with the life drain, the damage coming in, they'll get themselves their first victory. 10 dual damage.
All right, it begins. But now they don't have duel for 50 seconds. They still have Flaming Lasso cooling down for another 8 seconds. So they can try and go again if they want to. They've got plenty of damage. They can stick as this kind of 5-man ball. And the one way to alleviate the issue with the draft of taking towers and objectives is just getting kills, right? Like, if you pick off a few of these scary heroes, then it just makes it a lot easier for you to play the game. And
they don't have duel again, but they just jump forward. Flame Break pushing him back, trying to kite him out. And they've done a little bit of that with that Lasso that lasted a half second. But they've got the Unleash, and they'll have this kill on a Pio if they can just stick on him, but they got the False Promise. He's over the threshold. They get the kill on a Spartan. Now they'll look over with the Blade Mail. Yeah, hurt yourself. Keep yourself over that threshold. Pio ends up dead, and they get 2 kills out of that, despite not having the duel available. Now they've got duel available, and they could go for more.
Yeah, Monaspa just haven't been together at the right times, right? I think Golgi just kind of moving around as this 5-man ball, and they haven't really been punished for that just yet. Like, there hasn't been, you know, maybe like a big push in the bottom lane. There hasn't been an objective they've been able to secure here for Monaspa because the Ursa is still farming, right? Like, he just got his Battle Fury. He's going to be building towards that Blink Dagger. They have Guardian Greaves up now on Skylark, so I would love to see them walk around as these 4 heroes and just try and rotate and keep Pio safe as much as possible. Because they haven't really lost that much of their map. They've only lost a tier 1 tower. It's not like it's really dark for them. They've still got some really good wards that are floating around. There's a lot of defensive warding coming in from Alt G, so it's not like anytime soon that they're going to lose a lot of their map vision as long as they keep some of their core heroes alive. But the way that it's going, getting picked off after these last couple of minutes, I can really feel that Alt G are starting to pull this one back. Like, they've almost got a little bit of extra dual damage. Their Flaming Lassos have resulted in kills most of the time. And I mean, Kitrak is a position 5, he's almost got a Yules. He's like, what, 700 gold away? And at that point, probably feels pretty happy with his life.
Yeah, Yule's being built there. They've also got Yule's finished on Desire. He's going into the Solar Crest, so a little bit more of like buffing up your heroes, especially that Ursa with the Solar Crest. Then we see this a lot, where teams that are kind of behind a little bit, they have this lineup that can still take Roche, and they go for it.
I think the position of the Roche pits, to me, I think need to change. I think that's one thing that I'm not really liking about the patch so far. I feel like, I don't want to say they're easy to take, but it's very hard for a lot of these other teams to have like fighting angles, right? Because they're like separated in the corners, and obviously everybody knows where they're going to be depending on whether or not it's night or day. So if you're a team that, you know, just shoves out this top lane and it's nighttime, and say you're a Beastmaster, like it's pretty easy for you to take Roche, and there's no real scary angles that you have to worry about just because of the way that the Roche pits are set up, that you can't really be, you know, surrounded. Whereas previously when Roche was in the river, right, like you had to know where everybody was at all times, and it was very hard to steal these Roches from behind.
Yeah, it feels like it's pretty free if you're in there and nobody's around, but I guess that could be said with the other one. I don't know. You'd see also just the no vision over there. Like the vision for the Radiant is non-existent in this area, and they're just able to take Roche, knowing that it's like, all right, well, if we see one person in any lane that isn't top, they don't have enough heroes to come after us. No one's got the Ags. This is going to be interesting.
Okay. We're going to take a fight into an Aegis, and this is where I'm looking for Monaspa to make sure that they don't get picked off here.
No Blink Dagger for the Batrider. Not that that would matter with the boar hitting him. And Spartan coming over. All right, wall down, lasso out. That's onto the Oracle. That's exactly who you want to have it on, so he doesn't get the false promise through. But look at the damage coming in. They've got the duel. It's going to be on the Ursa, the life drain on him. They'll take a PO as well as Skylark. Now they look over at Spartan. The chase is on. They get themselves 3. Aegis is on Wish, but he's not able to do anything with the Unleash. The silences are deadly. They're ready to go. Arrow hits onto the Darkseer, but good slight into the Remnant leave.
Yeah, that was a beautiful way to execute a team fight when you're fighting into an Aegis, right? They understood that the hero with the
Wish?
No way.
All right, Moonlight Shadow, Dust, just in case he comes over here. They've got the vision on him, Searing Chains, Desire he can watch, but I don't know if he can help that much. The arrow hits. Damage on a Seb, he's got duel in 10 seconds, but there's that Yules you were talking about on Kid Track. That keeps him from TPing out. Another Sleight of Fist. He's doing a lot of damage. He might even be able to clean up if he's given enough space. False Promise keeps him alive. They need a little bit more heal. They get the kill on a Kid Track. That's one with the Slight, and he's back up to full health. Old G need to leave.
Yeah, I guess that was one positive of C-Spot not being able to get the False Promise off, right? It was off cooldown to save Wish, and he kind of played it there on the edge, and that's one issue that Old G have, is they don't really have good, reliable lockdown. Yeah, they've got Vacuum, they've got Duel, and they've got Lasso, but as soon as you know that those abilities are on cooldown, you can kind of play pretty freely if you wish, especially when you've got C-Spot and it's backing you up. So he's feeling pretty good with how his game is going now that he's got a Lincoln Sphere. Wish feels pretty immortal in a lot of these fights, and the fact that he had Aegis in that previous fight as well, pre-Lincolns, I think from here on out, the Roshans will definitely be going in Pio's pocket because he's the most vulnerable out of all these heroes, trying to get the duel on him before he gets the Enrage off. So, yeah, Pio should have a pretty good game from here on out, but Old G are just showing their team fighting prowess, and that's one big positive that these guys have as a squad, right, is the way they team fight and the way they can kind of pull a lot of these leads back with their wacky drafts because they just know who they need to go on and when they need to go, and it's really going to be about Monaspa making sure they hold on for these fights and they can outscale them a little later. Another smoke.
Yeah, I definitely think holding on is the big key word there, right?
Yeah, and this fight could be all important, right? Like if they get a pick here, they opens up a tier 1 tower, they can make their way towards top, they can start taking out this triangle, and the map starts feeling really, really small for Monaspa, and they do have pick-off in and of themselves, but the way that OG are playing is this 5-man ball, it's going to be too hard for them to just get like a free Fortune Zand into like Arrow or even like a Sleight of Fist doing chains and arrows, because they're going to have a lot of purges. And that's where it really starts getting hard to fight into this 5-man ball, because they've got a few universal heroes, so they're going to feel pretty strong with how they're, moving through their stats right now. And This is a very scary part for Monaspa where they can either win or lose this game.
So somehow net worth dropping down to about even.
Yeah, a lot of that is off the back of Desire being so big, right? Like he's a very big support. He's got Yules, he's got an Urn.
Halberd's gonna be nice when he picks that up.
Yeah, it's going to be huge to have that pseudo save against no one, and even against the duel in certain circumstances. So they need to make sure that like these false promises are really, really good from C-Spot. And we saw in the previous fight where he knew where he had to be, but it's hard for him to position if he's the one that gets lassoed early on. Even if he doesn't die, pulling him out of position and forcing him in these scenarios where he has to pick between, you know, false promising himself, false promising a core, really just makes the team fights a lot harder for Monaspa. And that's where OG put a lot of pressure on these Div 2 teams, is forcing them to make those hard decisions in a very quick team fight.
Thompson able to pick up some of those Lotuses. We'll pick up more now that he's finished off the BKB. Searing Chains looking for the arrow. That doesn't land. Yule's up into the air from Kittrack, but there's the blink into the duel. They catch themselves the Mirana. The damage coming in, and he gets the victory himself. Oh,
that was close. That was real close. I think maybe if you didn't have the Orb of Destruction there, it could have potentially not been a duel. But I feel like they probably still would have gotten the duel. There's a lot of members that were
they're going right to top. They want to catch Pio again.
I think he's just going to be fast enough. Which is lucky.
Ooh.
On to Roche. Okay, a minute 40 until it may spawn.
Oh, K-Track. He doesn't have Blink, but if he spots him, he'll just Yules him up in the air. He was TPing there. Oh boy, now he doesn't have a way out. They go to the lasso, they have the Unleash. This is a problem. Well, they're also going to get the kill on a Thompson who dropped down the wall, but the chase is on with the BKB. Pio trying to leave. Wishes in on a Thompson who TPs out. Meanwhile, Pio just escapes. They both get away.
Yeah, both teams are probably pretty annoyed with how that worked out, right? Like, Pio just got away with the BKB. He was slightly faster than Seb to be able to get that blink back off cooldown. And that's kind of one of the issues that you've got here with the Batrider, right? Like, you want to lasso him, but he's enraged, so it's literally like a half-second lasso. And it's very hard for you to try and keep him standing. But I almost thought that was going to be a certain kill on Thompson in the bottom lane, but, I mean, the man knows his limits.
EKBT. Uh-oh. No one getting a bottle here from Thompson to bottle up that double damage.
He's going to hit so hard.
Yep.
That's the thing with Universal Heroes now, right? Is like just their base damage is the bonkers part. It's like they just do so much damage, but it's all base damage, and they just keep building stats. And so a DD rune on a Universal Hero is like a DD rune on a Tiny, where you're like, all right, this is where things are going to get done. Like this next team fight with a DD rune is going to be hard to win.
I think he's also got this full Manta coming in, yeah. So Universal Heroes, Universal items. I've realized that Universal Heroes get to play like Heralds. Not that they're playing at that skill level, but you know the ideology when you're just such a low rank, you're like, this item looks cool. I guess I can buy this. Like that's what you're able to do as a Universal. Manta looks cool.
You just go, you go Ags. Yeah, you go Ags plus one other stat item, whether it be Harpoon or Manta, and you're just like, yeah, this is it. And you just build that every game. And as a Universal Hero, you hit for like 300 and you have like 3,000 HP. You're like, yeah, this is fine.
It's like when I was a kid, it was like, oh, well, which team do you want to root for in a sport you don't play? Well, who's got the coolest jersey? All right, I'll pick them. Sure.
Like, yeah, I like this one.
Roche is enough for a while.
Universal Heroes in a nutshell.
Yeah. Buy what looks good. Not stats, just the item itself.
The thing, you really can't go wrong with Universal Heroes because all of the generally good items are gonna be good on Universal Hero. They're generally stat sticks. They'll do stuff in a game that you're not gonna be like, this kind of sucks. Like this game, the Manta style, it's not crazy good, but it's good enough. Like it gets you out of chains. It gets you out of like a Fortune's End, which is enough. And you go, okay, well it just gives me like 50 damage. And you're like, that's cool. And now I have 3,000 HP and I do 1,000,000 damage with Unleash.
Oh, just 1,000,000?
Yeah,
just a casual 1,000,000?
Yeah, this is a cool million.
That's cool
Universal
million.
Heroes. It's like you give him a DD rune, you put on leash. Imagine if no one had a Magnus this time around as well, and then he gets in power, and you're like, all right, dude, that's actually a million. Like, how do you deal with that?
You don't. Halberd. Rock, paper, scissors, damage, halberd, done. Stop it. Don't hit me.
You could Fate's Edict him in these fights, but I mean that's putting a lot on C Spartan's back, right? It's like, all right, C Spartan, you need to keep everybody alive. You also need to make sure that you disarm the Marcy. You also need to make sure that you false promise the right person. Make sure you need to not get lassoed as well. So if you could do all that for us and captain us at the same time, that'd be awesome. Thanks, man.
Appreciate it. Thumbs up.
Appreciate it.
Surprised that with the damage that they have on the side of old G as well, they don't just take Tormentor. But they are setting up for Roche, of course.
I'm trying to think, like,
Dire's middle tower
what are the shards that they can really look for? Like, maybe Bats is good?
Yes,
No,
you know,
Bats is
just... That's not bad. For free, it's fine.
Yeah, true. I think you'd probably
Dire's
want
bottom tower
Aramis's first, if you could choose, but the way it's looking right now, like old G, they know they need Roche, and so they're literally just camping Roche.
They've been sitting here for a while.
That this top side of the map is really good for them. They got the Lotus Pool, they can push out this wave, they get Roche, and that just unlocks these tier 2 towers. They take one fight, they take a couple of big calls against Monaspa. Both Tormentors probably opens up for them, and probably a road to victory too.
But in doing so, they gave up their Wisdom Rune. Important.
are scanning.
A lot of experience for Wish. It's
Yep.
almost level 20. Which is actually a big power spike for the Ember Spirit, right? They can extra 55 Sleight of Fist hero damage, and it's been getting multiple hero Sleight of Fist.
Yep. Like, that's going to be dangerous. Now, look at this. They're sneaky into Roche. Let's see if they can take it. There are heroes from Monaspa nearby, so... Gotta be careful if you are old G. Trying to kill that hawk.
Some sort of idea.
Yeah, they're coming over. This is a problem. There's the arrow. Oh, Manta usage there. Yeah, down to half health. Not using that unleash, wanting to save it. Shivas, that hits onto this Marcy. Now they're going to go over with the unleash, but they get the silence on a wish for a second. They go to the primal roar. It's going to be on a no one. They're trying to get the control onto the Marcy. Now the duel onto the Ursa. The damage. Thompson's already dead. Can they get the cone of Pio? They've already used the false promise. The Star Storm and Roche doing some damage to get the cone of no one. They'll take out a second. Now the remnant over. The arrow lands on a Seb. Seb in trouble. The Nether Blast is down. Kid Track falls. This is going to be a full team wipe and Roche. They'll take out Aramis. Down goes Seb. 5 heroes gone on old G. And Roche left at like 15% health.
Yeah, and this is where you look back at when Roche spawned, right? If Roche was a dire side spawn, that fight doesn't happen. The only reason why they're able to have 5 heroes there was because Pio was actually able to TP to the outpost. If Pio doesn't get any close to that fight, I don't think Monaspa take that fight. They leave, they let Roche go, and then we're looking at old G marching down a lane and probably taking a tier 2 tower. Instead, we're looking at a full team wipe, 10k net worth lead now for Monaspa, and that was clean. I think they just put old G under a lot of pressure where it got to the point where they just had to spend spells, right? Like no one's getting extremely low, Thompson's extremely low. They had to throw this duel out, but Pio just is able to sit there, and then if you give C Spartan a spot where he can literally sit in the back and choose the perfect time to drop this false promise, it's a free fight for them. They never got the lasso out. They were never able to get multi-heroes vacuum walls, and old G, unfortunately, due to Roche being on the Radiant side, they lose out that fight.
That's a bit of an issue for them now. By a bit, I feel like it is truthfully problematic. They go to the duel, but they're not going to get duel damage out of this. The Reigns of Destiny are down. They've got the Unleash. They've got the Silence. The False Promise comes in with Pio trying to fight this. No one's taking a lot of damage, and he can't get away. Pio's hit just this unkillable mass. As they will find Aramis, they'll even use the Primal Roar. He's got a double kill. This is a fight happening right by the high ground, and that is ex-Monaspa going up, and they see a wall, but they'll walk right through it, at least with Wish.
Yeah, this is starting to snowball really, really fast against old G, and this is the way...
Nullifier,
Thompson?
Dead Thompson. Just don't see him leaving, and there's Purifying Flames to finish it off. That kill steal Purifying Flame still exists.
Yep. 33 minutes into the game, still doesn't matter. The Oracle needs to get his dues at some point. So, yeah, this ballooned out of control really, really fast. I think OG felt a little bit of the pressure of the timer. You could see that they understood that they needed Roche, and oh no, Seb could be the next one. He is Shadow Bladed though.
Didn't get hit by that. All right.
But you could understand that it started to get to the point now where it's like 33, 35 minutes into the game. You know, Pia's got the Nullify, they got BKBs coming up, Lincoln Sphere. It's hard to kill the Ember Spirit. Like, we really need Roche to start clearing out these tier 2 towers, and then maybe we can get a net worth lead from there and maybe win a fight off the back of no one being big with like a Basher and a BKB. But losing that Roche fight the way they did, 5-0, giving the Roche up at like 15%, it just balloons so fast, and the way that they can take towers, it's so hard for them to fight for 2 minutes into an Aegis on Pio. Like, they still don't have Blink on Kitrak yet. Like, he's a long ways away from that, so they can't even just blink into the background and just grab like an Oracle. Like, even like just look at the graphs, man. Like, the graphs tell it all. It's just, it's all Monaspa right now, and if they lose from here, that's going to be a big fight back from OG, because it's going to be hard for them to finish this game off for OG.
Yeah, the net worth and the experience especially are big in this one, and they have found themselves Seb. He will try to get the blade mail off and survive, but that's just not happening. Early, brother.
They're going to be one of the new memes, like the question mark. Is early brother going to be another one?
Early brother. You got to do that with the yeehaw, you know?
Early brother.
Yeehaw. Yeah.
Was that American enough? I'm not a very good American.
No, that was fine. I appreciate it.
+1.
So, jumping on the high ground again. Why not?
Still a minute on the Aegis. Like, this is probably just Atlanta Rax, right? Like, I don't see how they're supposed to fight into this Urso. Like, they can just throw the Lincolns on him if they ever get scared.
Unless it happens slow, but Wish is just able to come in here for free, right? Like, he's got that extra damage with the sight. Can they time the Aegis right on this one? Maybe. Still full minute. It's not about timing. I think they just take this Rax and leave. Ooh, boy.
Maybe they can delay with, like, a Vac wall play, but they know the tier 3's gone, so they're just going to sack that. It's about, what are these Raxes that they're going to give up? Looks like they want to fight here for old G.
Well, I don't have anything with Thompson being stunned by that arrow for a while. Well, Rings of Destiny on him, too.
They hold. I think they definitely would have loved to fight. As you said, that arrow on a Thompson probably put a spanner in the works for OG to get into a fight they wanted to, but they at least hold their racks, so they're not 2 lanes down, 2 side lanes down as well at this point in time. They can deal with the bottom side as long as, you know, Seb constantly pushes that out. He's one with the Shadow Blade as well, so he can safely, to an extent, do that. But this could be potentially a last hurrah for OG. They've got a Blink Dagger now on Thompson, so they can set up for a big Blink Vacuum Wall. They've got the BKB on no one as well, so he's the scary hero. They would love a Blink Dagger on Kitrak as well. I think if they had Blink Dagger on Kitrak, they were like, all right, this is go time. This is everything that we could possibly want for, and they would want to go. Maybe they're low on smokes too, actually, because they've used a lot this game.
Yeah, they just used one, and then
they don't have one for another almost 4 minutes. So yeah,
it's waiting. Just tough for them, because like, I think the biggest turning point was the fact that they kind of sit and waited for Roche for 2.5 minutes while Monaspa just farmed the entirety of the map. Remnant over, Thompson in trouble. They found themselves Kitrak. He's out by his own. He'll end up dead. Pio gets the kill. He's got buyback. You don't really want to use it, but you're going to be forced to do so. There's just no way around that. Arrow comes in and lands on a no one as he jumps forward. Can they get the damage out? It doesn't look likely. Thompson's dead. No one falls. Pio's unkillable. And Aramis is on the run, but you don't have buyback on those 2 heroes, and this is looking like the end of game 1. Aramis is hiding, but they found him.
Oh, I was going to say, surely not the Decrep TP out was going to be the savior there for Aramis, but he gets found out, and yeah, this is probably going to be game 1 in the books for Monaspa. I like the way that OG played their draft. I think maybe the Marcy carry was a little bit of a stretch. I like the other heroes, but if they had like a classic no one kind of carry hero, I feel like they definitely could have done better with the, as you said, the 2 minutes of them waiting around for Roche, right? Like they farmed a little bit, but they spent a lot of time just waiting for the big man to come back.
So that's going to be a lot of points in the chat. Getting lost here.
Yep. I told you. Chat doesn't listen.
Sleight of fist, searing chains, not going to matter. This game is in the books as they watch the Ancient fall. They'll try one more time. Vacuum, a duel on the Desire, but he's taking no damage. Kitrak falls, the Remnant over. The Reigns of Destiny are there, and the Destiny says that they're going to take game number 1. Just a matter of time as Seb is surrounded. Seb ends up dead. No one trying to fight back. The cheese is eaten. They'll buy back on Seb. Yule's into the air, doing the damage on the Spartan. Gets a kill onto the Oracle while Skylark's trying to just finish the base. Sight again. Desire comes in. He'll start right cooking the Ancient. They get the kill onto Aramis. They'll look over as the Remnants to the side. Seb's got the Blade Mail, but they'll call GG. And game 1 goes the way of ex-Monaspa.